Welcome back, family, to the Lucky Dine. Previously, Lathian checks on Marnak, Rhal checks on Ama, Squash checks on Dana, and Zaltanna checks out the royal wine. Speaking with Empress Apella, they learn of the lengths that she will go to take Dacian down, and the possibility of more webs being created. Dana opens up to Squash about who she is, as Caden opens up about his past. Now the team head into the roots of elven lineage. How old is Dana really? What information could Caden learn about who freed Dacian? And what other secrets do the elves of the past hide? I guess we're about to find out. Welcome back to the Lucky Dine.
You find yourself in a wine cellar. There are big casks everywhere. There are even small casks. Many of them are covered in dust. This is probably the oldest of the wine cellars. This is where you assume maybe you should be. The floor is kind of very compacted dirt. And you can see that at one time this was used a lot. Like, it is very compacted, it's very hard, it's almost like stone. You can see that there are casks up on wooden stands. You can see that there are candlestick holders on the wall, or torch brackets, whatever you wish. They are up on the walls and they're around here, there and everywhere. There are bottles of wine in here also, but they are so covered with dust from age you can't even see what colour the glass is anymore, let alone what is written upon them. This room is probably about 8 Lathians squared. I don't know what else you want from me. I don't know how big a wine cellar is. It's big, alright?
How many casks are there in the wine cellar?
There are approximately 56.
Are any of them labeled Amontillado?
No. Yes? I don't know what that is, Casey.
Casey.
Just say yes.
No.
Just say yes.
Do not put that on my family.
Just say yes.
No.
Briscoe? Lamborghini? I think that's a shit wine I used to drink as a kid. Sorry, young adult. I feel like saying yes may destroy art, so I'm going to say no.
Is this Welch's wine balance? That's my favorite.
That's grape juice, Rhal.
It's my favorite. So is all that. And points at the wine.
There are some very small wooden casks, maybe like half the size of Squash. But there are some casks that are massive, like you're talking like 10 feet kind of diameter, like they're fucking huge. That ones you would see in like the bottom of a proper brewery. This is what you see. What do you guys want to do?
Okay. Ground rules. We're establishing ground rules here. If you're touching something, gently, please. No breaking things.
I was really hoping you were saying if you touch something, it's yours.
No, I'm saying if you touch something, be careful with it, please.
These can't be like millennia old. Like casks and stuff like that like rots out before then, right?
Yeah, grapes go bad.
Squash, this is of Elvish make. We don't make shoddy things like that.
And also, magic! Sorry.
Exactly. Most of the things we make are somehow infused with magic. Thank you, voice in the sky.
You're welcome.
Or was that voice in the tree? Is that you?
If we drink from everything in here, do you think we've solved it?
Rhal, you already have acid problems. I'm pretty sure you would be dead by the first cask.
That is a point.
And, just taste test. All the grape juice.
Maybe later we'll crack open one of these bottles. Some of them actually are intriguing to me. Later,
Let's get drunk, baby.
No, let's not. I have a trial.
Day drinking.
No.
Oh no.
It can only help. Being drunk can only help with the trial.
Why else would the trial be with the grape juice?
Trial of the mind. Why would you?
It's not. This is not the trial. This is to help you find the trial.
If I were going to do a brain trial, my brain works best on grape juice.
And this is why you're not actually a sentinel, Rhal. This is why we're only being made temporary. Because we would somehow invariably fuck up the universe.
I resent that remark. I don't think we would.
I'm terrified that you're just going to be a goddess.
Yes, I am.
Okay, as long as we have that clear.
I'm going to be a goddess. Yes, I don't know why you're scared of that. I'm going to be a great goddess.
Zaltanna, I hope that you are, and that I can one day have a temple erected in the city for you, and everybody will love you. But that remains to be seen.
I am 5 years old.
Yep, we have the maturity of 5-year-olds. I love it.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to have a serious conversation.
Ground rules have been established.
Uh-huh.
Laffian, what would you like to do?
He's gonna start looking around. He's gonna do like a broad sweep first. Just look for like any maybe secret doors. Like maybe there's like one of those like push-in receding stones in the wall. Any seams on the floor. Maybe there's like a trap door.
Okay. What is your passive perception? And yeah, Squash. Yeah, fine. Passive perceptions. What are they?
28.
Fuck you.
Well,
My passive perception is 18.
Okay.
What?
What?
You have observant, Aethel.
No, is your perception only 8?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
My investigation is the high one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just doing broad sweep right now.
Okay, yes.
All right.
I knew he beat me somewhere.
As you walk through the kind of 8x8 Laffian area and you see many casks, you see lots of bottles of wine, you notice that the floor, in places does have seams. It appears as if, like, at some point, different types of dirt were put in under different places, either to add more support or not. You can see that some stones have even been sunk into the ground. The walls themselves, I will correct you, are made of wood.
Okay.
They are carved into the tree itself. So that's just kind of where that is.
Gotcha.
You see that some of these casks are from different time periods. Like, some of them, they're not exactly new, but like under 500 years. Some of them are more than a couple of, like more than a couple of hundred years. You don't see anything from like a millennia or anything like that. No, that's not strictly true. With you two on your 18 and 28 working together, you would know that at least one of these is probably well in that 1,000-year era, and it's at the very back of the place. It's the one that's like kind of not quite 8 feet in diameter. It's pretty big. You can see the cask goes all the way back to the wall. You can see that there are brackets and candles and shit around, and you can see that the floor underneath that's where kind of one of the seams are, is where one of these stones are pretty close to it.
I made a stealth roll for
That's
what
your
I'm doing,
passives.
V.
Neil,
We don't have to
if
address
you are
it.
making a stealth roll, it can't be against me because
It's not against you. It's against any of my companions who might see me.
Okay, Neil, what did you get?
What was it?
Oh, you son of a bitch.
29.
That's one above my passive.
So far as everyone's concerned, Rhal has disappeared, but I think some of you are actually trying to focus on getting through, so Rhal has slipped your whatevers. You find this. That's what you find on your basic sweeps before I make you do any investigations or further perceptions.
All right, then assumably that oldest of the old casks in that region is probably a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
So Laffian's going to start checking that area specifically. Maybe there's like a false bottom or Maybe the cask is a magical item that teleports or something,
If you want to do an investigation, yes, but you can't tell magic unless you have Arcana or Detect Magic.
Which I have. Well, okay, let's do investigation first, and then if that doesn't pan out, then he will check for perhaps maybe there's some secret magic runes or some shit.
Okay, we'll do investigation first. I'm going to assume that your companions that are nearby to you will probably help out, either a lot or a little. Doesn't matter, but I'll give you advantage on the roll.
All right. Yeah, at least Squashy knows is also quite skilled in this field.
Just but Zaltanna, Zaltanna, this is a lot of booze. Go for it.
26 investigation. That's actually middle of the road, too. That was a 10.
Okay, it doesn't have a false bottom, but you can tell that the cask itself, I said, goes up flush to the wall. As you look at it, it's not flush, it's just cleverly designed to look like it is flush. You would suspect, looking at the way that the grains are and such like, this actually goes into the wall. Otherwise, you see that the tap inserted into it isn't actually a legitimate tap. It is a fake. It's a facsimile. It's not real. If you turn it, nothing will happen. There's no mechanism. There's nothing there. It's just decoration on the front. You can also tell, looking at some of the banding and the way that the kind of wooden slats that make up the barrel itself, you can tell that in a couple of where the slats meet, there is clearly a line of metal that shouldn't be there. It's very thin and it's very delicate, and it leads to one of the torch holders, which is pretty close to the cask itself.
Okay. I'm going to try something. Squash, Zaltanna, step away. Rhal, use what?
What?
Rhal?
What?
Rhal?
I'm over
Rhal,
here.
what are you doing?
Wait, Rhal?
Nothing, I'm
Rhal?
here. I'm done. What?
Neil, what were you doing?
Stealing the Welch.
Rhal was putting a couple bottles of the wine in the stocking plane for the specters because they seem kind of depressed.
So you give them a depressant.
I give them some wine. They can enjoy a bottle of wine.
I will allow one bottle of wine.
Okay.
You feel like this might be the limit of the size that you can push through to the stocking. This is very difficult. It is bigger than a tiny thing that I said you could push through to the stocking. You're beginning to push the limits of acceptability on this.
You said small, and squash was in there somewhere.
I jokingly said at the bottom of one of my QC notes that squash is a small
Squash
thing.
is at least the
Neil.
size of a bottle of wine.
No, squash is bigger than the size of a wine bottle. These are not 3-foot wine bottles, Neil. Sorry, 3-foot wine bottles. I no.
Rhal's just a drunk soccer mom.
You are just at the limit of the size of things that you can push through to the stalking.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got one of those big bottles of wine with the wine glass built into the top of it.
I give them some wine. And then I meet back up.
I'm going to try something, just if you all could step back. Just because I know that my ancestors probably had a penchant for traps as well. So, and then once everybody's clear, he's going to do a mystic hand and have it fuck around with the candelabra, and see if he can see if maybe it opens a door, or if it turns, pulls, pushes.
Yeah, you get you use your mystic hand, and a very kind of ghostly version of your hand just shoots out. Whether you want your companion to see it or not, entirely up to you. It goes out and it reaches around this kind of torch bracket that is there, and it begins to wiggle and push and pull, and you find that basically pulling it towards you, you all hear a click, and the front of the cask pushes, just kind of clicks out a little bit, so it kind of opens proud.
Oh, all right. Well, that worked out fairly well. He's going to use the hand and just have it open the cask the rest of the way and see if anything
How close
happened.
are all of you?
I only stepped back as far as Laffian told me to step back.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Hang on, because I have to have a certain range on the mystic hand.
I think Rhal is like walking up, so.
Okay, then I'll say that Rhal is out of the blast radius. Squash Sultana.
The what radius?
Nothing. Nothing whatsoever.
I'm assuming
So
I
it's
am
30
not,
feet.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm not much more than 10 feet behind Lafian. Like a person's width between us. I am observing social distancing.
That's the worst. So you're backing up 30 feet.
Yeah, the max range of the Mystic Hand is 30 feet, so he would probably be like just at the edge of that.
Okay.
The tree starts shaking. All right, we have an hour.
The tree starts beginning crumbling and necrotic damage all around. Oh, damn, that would be cool as shit.
The tree comes alive as a giant ent. Oh shit, we should have saved that for later.
As you open it and you just reach forward with your hand just to open the thing, yeah, there is an almighty explosion and fire just wreaks havoc from about 20 feet of where it is, but all of y'all managed to avoid it. Some of the casks around you are now on fire.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Oh, no. That's... Oh, no.
What do you want to do? They're filled with flammable liquid.
I don't have water. That's not one of my powers that I picked.
Guess what I have? Boom. Control flame. Within a 5-foot cube, I can quench any fire that I see.
Keep doing that. Keep doing it.
Is that a... oh, shit, I closed
Cantrip.
roll 20. Shit.
I don't know why
It's a cantrip.
But yeah, it's a cantrip, so
why
I
I
can do
clicked.
it repeatedly. But I can only do 5-foot cube within an action. So depending on what you think the square root of Lafian is big.
Y'all gonna make me really calculate how big this room is?
I was just going to let V make a decision.
I'm going to say it takes you some time, but you do manage to get it under control. The casts are still pretty. They're still made of wood. They're still pretty thick. They're not going to instantly explode. Had you left it, they probably would have. It takes you some time. There's a few close calls, but you do in fact with your bullshit fucking magic rogue like wizard bullshit ability. Yeah, you squash the flames.
You squash the flames. Okay. Okay.
Rage quit.
That was concerning. I did not think that my ancestors would have opted for fire at the bottom of a tree, but well,
I'm sure they had a good reason, but why don't I take the lead from now on?
Sure.
Just until we find whatever kind of burial place, because I highly doubt this was the last thing they did.
You've got more of a penchant for magic than I, so probably the tag team.
Yeah. All right. As Squash finishes putting out the last fire, he's gonna kind of like do a little like trick with his hand and touch himself on the chest, and I'm casting detect magic.
Okay. Cool.
So for
Cool.
up to 10 minutes, I can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me.
If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn at school. I would determine that you could probably sense magic.
The spell can penetrate most barriers.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably sense the magic, but until you can physically see the object, you couldn't tell what school of magic it is.
No.
That's how I read it, at least. Okay. Yes, magic on you. Yes, you detect magic. The barrel is enchanted. You can basically also sense the presence of a fading glyph of warding, which was pretty strong. You can sense that there is magic ahead of you, and that's kind of it. As you approach the cask and look inside, you can see that it is a long tunnel that suddenly dips down, and it's just darkness, but you can see in the dark now. Fuck. You can see the tunnel gets smaller and smaller. Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay. So, like, every now and then, Squash is just gonna, Squash is gonna start moving inside the tunnel, but every now and then he's gonna stop and actively try to look for the aura. so that
Okay.
he could possibly spot whatever is going to blow up in his face next before he walks into it.
As you kind of go forward and you keep doing this, you don't really sense much more magic than you did just now. You can't see anything extra. But as you hit that area where the tunnel suddenly dips down, you can see that the ground has been dug some very deep grooves. And as you look at the way it suddenly dips down almost 90 degrees, you can see that what has been carved are steps, just like handholds on a ladder. But you can't see the bottom of this drop.
I think it's safe, at least up to here. But this becomes kind of like a stairway beyond here. Man-made.
Huh.
All right. Give me 1 second just as a precaution. And Lafian's going to go to the entrance of the wine cellar.
Mhm.
And he's just going to spend a single side point to drop a anchor.
Absolutely, you can, yeah.
Just in case.
I'm going to tell you're never going to be more than a mile. So you'll be able to black back there whenever you wish.
Okay. Just in case if things go bad.
Yeah, no worries.
And yeah, then he's going to go back and, all right, guess we're going in the tunnel. I'll go second.
Rhal looks nervous. We're going down into the tunnels, like deliberately into graves, which he doesn't like already. He has like a bottle of wine. He's like holding it, like he's gonna hit something with it.
I love this image
Rhal?
so much.
Put that back.
What?
Put that back, Rhal. Not using that as a weapon.
Why?
I have. If you want one of the elvish wine bottles that I have in my bag here, you can have that if you need to throw it and light something on fire. Just not right now, please. Put that one back.
Fine.
Those are the good ones.
Okay. He doesn't tell you that he gave specters one.
Nobody knows your
He puts
treachery
it
deal.
back, and he takes the one that you're giving him.
Okay. As you continue making your way down and you begin to find these handholds turning more into a ladder, you have to actually start climbing downwards like a ladder. When you get like a couple of feet down, you realize that below you is just what looks like stone, like kind of like a mosaic. Like whatever you're looking down at, Squash, looks like there is forming a pattern, a picture. And as you kind of get a bit further down, you realize that you are going to have to drop into this room. It's probably only about 12 feet from where the bottom of the ladder, inverted commas, stops, but it's about a 10-foot drop.
There's a drop coming up.
11-foot drop. Does that make... Yeah, no, 10 foot's fine.
Let me see. I have hemp rope 150 feet.
Okay.
Which I assume are 3 hemp ropes of 50 feet each.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm basically just going to drop one of my 50 feet hemp rope down in the hole so that we have an easy way getting out in case something goes wrong. The 3 of us who cannot just magically run walls and fly away.
So you can tell that if you drop down, there's no wall in which you could run up to get to this hole that you're about to drop through.
All right.
Even Rhal cannot run on ceilings, I don't think. So
yeah. All right. So and I understand correctly that there's like a hand railing.
yeah, it's kind of like they've dug really deep grooves that you can use as handholds to climb down. And like you could dig some of the earth out and wrap your rope around it, but there isn't any like handholds per se. There's not a thing you could tie a rope around.
You would need a pitten.
Yes.
I do not have a bag of climbing kit. I do have a climber's kit.
Boo!
I was going to say, you yelled at us.
Yeah. I was trying to get you guys to buy me some drugs, but you guys were equal-eyed. I couldn't get anything. All right, yeah, so Squash is going to stab a pitten into the side of the tree wall thing and then tie the rope to it and throw the rest down and climb down.
Yep, very easy. The 3 of you can drop down without no problem whatsoever.
I just want to remind you, V, in case you're up to shenanigans, Squash has blind sense up to 10 feet.
So that's invisible shit, right?
Yeah, hidden or invisible creatures.
Great, wonderful.
Just want to remind you of this because this seems like the kind of arena you would put something invisible in.
I mean, if that's the case, I have the monocle.
But you're not wearing it.
Why would I not be wearing the monocle?
Because it's dorky.
Wow.
Because we have already bullied you
And
and
it's-
pray we don't proceed
And
to.
it's some man's prescription. What the fuck are you doing?
It's magic. It lets me see invisible shit.
Oh my god! This is stop it. You find
being bullied
yourself
again.
in. I'm so sorry for them about them, Arch. I'm sorry. All right. You find yourselves dropped at the edge of a pretty large room. It's about 20-foot diameter. It is circular. The walls are comprised of stone blocks, and they're like various different coloured marbles, like whites and greys and greens and pinks and stuff. It just looks super nice. The floor that you're standing on is also comprised of very, very tiny stones that make a mosaic of this very noble-looking unicorn. Above you, in the very center of the room, into the ceiling, which is made of like these kind of like woods that have been very delicately put together and are clearly of elven construction. There is what looks like a chandelier that is hanging kind of above the center of the room. You can see there's some candles and such like on it. You can see the rope that is holding it, and it's like fastened to a bracket on one side of the room. In the very center of the floor, there is a 3-foot diameter hole. That's it.
Just a hole.
Yeah, just a hole. 3-foot diameter hole.
Just
from where you are, you can't see down it. So,
okay.
Rhal's not moving. He's just ready to hit something with his bottle.
Squash, you really don't sense much more magic from here.
Okay. Seems like everything's gonna be fine. Squash is gonna move forward towards the 3 diameter hole, but he's keeping in mind that there are also physical traps, that the elves are not only beholden to magic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's moving forward with that in mind.
Okay. You move forward with that in mind. You very carefully put your steps down, and you get to the edge of the 3 diameter hole with no problems. Directly above your head is the chandelier.
Lafian's gonna go up behind Squash and just like grab onto the back of like his armor,
Push him in
and
the
is
hole.
just like holding on, just like just in,
Sparta kick this motherfucker down the hole.
no.
No, he's clearly got a scar me down the hole. His role model.
Long live the king.
Yeah.
I am the king.
Not yet.
But we all know he's going to be a mighty king. So enemies beware.
Yeah, he's just holding onto the back of the armor and making sure that Squash doesn't get like somehow falling into the hole or some shit.
Sucked into the hole
Okay.
somehow. Yeah.
That will be interesting.
Or Phantom of the
when it
Opera,
comes to it.
to clarify. In case the chandelier decides to.
Yeah. You're looking down the hole, Squash?
Yes.
How far is your dark sight? Dark vision?
It's only 30 feet, if I remember correctly. Let me check real
You see
quick.
absolute darkness. You see nothing.
Oh, I don't think we agreed what it was. That's why it says dark vision acts.
I think we went like 30 and then 60. Like, just keep it the same as everyone else's.
60,
It makes our lives
60
easier.
you're right.
Yeah, you can't see shit. It's just dark.
It goes much further than I can see. Is there nothing on the outside of these walls on the inside here?
I can go take a look.
All right, on your passive, I will mention that the inside of the hole, you can probably see it's like 4-5 feet thick, and then it's just darkness underneath that. You can tell that there is kind of some very old scraping, like vertical scrapes in there. That's fucking goddamn bullshit.
Like something was dragged into the hole and was trying to clean
Yeah,
up?
like something, like yes, like it drags. Yeah, like it's dragged something through it, up through it, down through it, up through it. Like it's repeated use.
I think like in the background, Rhal's like kind of shoving Tio away a little bit. Like, no, Tio, I don't want anyone to get the idea to send you down there. That's terrible. No, you're not going down that hole.
You're putting Tio in your hood. You're pulling your head up over your head, like Tio. No, pulling in like the straps to make it like tight around your head.
Squash, can you light the chandelier above us?
Sure. Give me a second. And Squash is going to
Throw his tinderbox at it.
Does Squash feel that he has enough control over Firebolt, which is basically an attack, to light a couple of candles? I have, of course, control.
Only Squash can determine that.
Only Squash can determine that. All right.
Yeah.
Then I would like to argue shenanigans.
Okay.
Since Squash has both Firebolt and Control Flames, I would like to argue that he can. That the mixture of these two cantrips means that he can kind of weave a harmless flame to his pleasing.
Okay. You can argue that away. Go for it. Yes, you light the kind of like the bottom rows of the chandelier, not like every single candle on it, especially not ones at the top, because I believe Firebolt is like 100. No, Control Flames is like a 5-foot cube, and you could put that above your head, but you'd only be able to reach 8 feet in total because you're 3 foot high. So you could do most of the candles on the candle and the candelabra. What is it? Chandelier. Yeah.
If organ music starts playing, I'm running.
No, most of them are lit, and it makes the room much, much brighter. You notice, I guess, after you've lit some of these flames, that the topmost candles, that if you had managed to light them, would probably start burning the rope.
What is the rope attached to?
The rope is attached to a bracket on the wall.
Can I lower the chandelier?
You can try.
Does it?
The chandelier is pretty heavy.
From this angle, V, does it look like there's like any scrape marks on the chandelier?
I'm going to give it to the both of you. The bottom of the chandelier looks like it's had a couple of impact damages, like it's hit something occasionally.
Oh, I see what you're thinking, Balance. Laffian, sorry. This is probably used as an elevator to go down there, and the password is probably the name of the unicorn. Excelsior!
No.
And suddenly the room is covered in flames as he fucks it up.
It's Arete?
Yeah.
He says that out loud.
Oh, okay. With that, you can see that you can hear a clicking and a clanking, and the platform that you're on begins to very slowly descend and then picks up a bit more speed and then picks up a bit more speed.
Oh.
You drop by about 10 feet and then you start seeing that the walls that were there are now gone. They're physically still there, but you're still descending, but there's no walls around you now. You're on a platform that's like 20-foot diameter and it's descending through darkness, and you continue going down and further down, and it's just darkness all around you. And then it begins to slow down just a bit. And as you kind of begin to feel it coming to a stop, you begin to see more walls. Let me actually make sure I get this description correct, because this is super important.
Okay, if the description's scary, V, we're all already like on the verge of panic attack right now.
Okay. As it begins to descend and you look down, you can just become aware that there are these kind of like pink and kind of goldish marble walls that are appearing in a circle around your platform, perfectly to the size. And as it stops, there is in the very center, that 3-foot hole that was there, you can see that there is this kind of mechanism, which is basically a lever. And in the wall itself, you can see that there is a doorway. There isn't a door, just a doorway. And that doorway is... That doorway you cannot see through, but you can tell that you can't see through it because there is a light that is consistently changing through a variety of colors.
Oh, fuck. Not again.
Alas.
Well, okay, before we start worrying about that, what is this lever in the center here?
It's kind of a stone lever. The handle is made of wood. It's slightly rotten because of the extreme age of it being down here, but the mechanism looks like it works. Just don't know what it does.
Exactly. What does it do?
Do you want to try cranking it?
Well, my concern is that... So there's a few things that could happen here. Either it's going to turn off that door, it's going to set off some unspeakable trap, or we're just going to go back up. So it's kind of a either win, lose, or gain nothing. I mean, so myself personally, if I was to make that a trap, I would make it where it would essentially take the platform and just straight up splatter us against the ceiling above.
Okay, wow, Rhal. Rhal's looking at the lever a little bit more terrified now.
Are we not on a platform now? Can we not get off the chandelier?
You're still on. So the chandelier is basically like however many feet up above you.
The ground was the
still in
elevator,
place.
not the chandelier.
Yes, the chandelier did not drop on your head and kill you.
Okay.
So nice. Yeah, you're still on this mosaicked like platform floor.
Yes,
It's now
okay.
actually on the ground. The walls around you are the pink and gold marble, and there is a door with changing coloured lights. A doorway with changing coloured lights.
Okay.
And a lever in the middle.
Squash, can you possibly figure out the mechanism on this? See if maybe find out where it leads to?
Sure. Squash is gonna inspect this thing to its nearest completion.
Take an insight check, please.
Insight?
Oh, sorry. Investigation? Sorry.
Insight the rock. It's alive.
I was just going to go mimic.
24.
A 24. You could tell. Oh, it's not a 25. On a 24, you can tell that this mechanism would simply just lift the platform up. Why are you looking grumpy face?
Because you said it's not a 25, and I thought you were
I
about
can't
to
give you the extra thing on the 25. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, there's an extra thing. Boo.
Yeah, pushing this lever would lift the floor.
I think this is just a manual override to get back upstairs.
Is it, though?
I feel like you're 1 point away from the truth.
I mean...
One point away from finding out it does do the splatter thing.
The more you mention, I'm gonna make a roll.
As far as you know, Squash, it will just raise the platform. You don't know whether it will smash you against the ceiling. You just know it raise you.
You're the investigator. Like, I don't know why you're, like, throwing shade on my theories.
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just insinuating that there may be concern.
That I'm wrong. I'll have you know that since I met you guys, I've been more right than wrong.
Rhal's passed out.
Just leave him there.
Rhal passes out unconscious upon the floor. His nose is bleeding somewhat. I need you to resolve a acid attack damage against yourself. Breath weapon, that was the thing. Oh, yowzers.
The trap can't kill him if he kills himself first.
True.
Do I take normal or half? I can't remember.
You take...
You have the belt.
You have the belt. What's your belt set to?
Well, acid, yeah. Obviously. Yeah. We're not in the cold or anything right now, so.
No, we're not in the gold anymore. That'll be 7 damage.
I just couldn't remember if it was a half.
Can I check my own theory? Just double check Squash's work.
If you want to double check him, sure.
Just Leffian's just really concerned because that is absolutely a trap he would do.
Yeah, but we're not in, like, the fucking Tomb of Annihilation. This...
Aren't we?
No, we're playing the...
Aren't we, Aethel? Aren't we?
No. I refuse to believe...
How do you know that killing Yol is not part of my master plan? I'm sorry, what did you get, Laffian?
24.
Sorry. Hades to the left.
And I don't
You
have
also
any...
determine that this just raises the platform.
I don't have any way to up that.
All right. Let me go over here.
Please, beautiful listener, imagine me leaning back on my chair, feet up on my desk, sipping some coffee right now.
How long has it been since we started descending? Has it been more than 10 minutes?
I'm gonna go no. Oh shit! Yeah, then you want information on the wall.
Detect magic.
You can tell. Yeah, you can tell it's an abjuration spell. You're actually pretty familiar with this spell yourself.
Oh, really? I wonder why.
Yeah. You don't see any magic underneath you. You don't see that the mechanism itself is magic. The only magic in this room are yourselves, the friendships that you have, and the door in front of you.
Aw, that's fucking cute.
And Tio mostly is magic, I think.
And Tio, of course.
Okay.
Necromancy.
Yes, necrotic.
Let's just keep going for the thing and just go right till at the door.
You say that and nothing happens.
What was the name of the king?
Isilta.
Nothing happens.
Did he have a wife?
Yes.
What was that
He
name?
had wives, plural.
We didn't get the name.
Oh,
Names.
Dig into that history brain of yours and look for some...
I'm going to say, yeah, it is possible that Lafian and that Zaltanna may have heard of, like, royal names back into past when they're like, hey, I'm at school and I have to do history. It may be buried in there deep, but there is a possibility. It is an exceptionally difficult check, though, so you can both roll histories.
I'll give it a shot. All right, so that was a 3 on the die
history? Okay.
for a total
Yes,
of 14.
You bastard.
Yeah, you're completely oblivious. You have no idea about any of the wives.
You were our ace in a hole, Arch. God damn it.
I'm not Arch.
No.
Now, if I'd gotten a 13 on the die, that would have been a different story, but...
Yes.
But alas, Zaltanna also 13.
Alas, poor Yorick.
This is all that you have, I'm afraid.
Okay, so... I guess I could try to dispel the prismatic door, but it is an incredibly difficult action and not one that I can be sure I could complete.
Can we see past it?
No.
When it's flicking between the
Cannot see through
colors?
it. No, you can't see through it. Like, the changes are so, like, instant and quick.
The last one we could? Fuck.
I know, but it's like this one is made by people who are way better at magic.
What? No, what? This is a worse version of the door? This could get
because
worse?
it has all the colours, and I'm not letting you fuck with me on this one.
Fuck.
I mean, you could try. No, I will be fair. I will. It's basically the same thing, but they don't have the crystals this time. I will say that, yeah, you can see that tiny little flicker between the two. Can I have you roll a perception check then, please, Lafian?
Sure.
I will stay with the established canon of prismatic wall.
Oh, okay. Nat 20. 28.
Yes, absolutely. You can see through this. Ahead of you, you can see a room that has many, like, very deep shelves in there. And you can see the remains of what look like kind of wooden... that would make sense. You can see, like, little pieces of wood that remain on these shelves. You can see, like, a bit of a bone. You can see mostly dust. You can also see some of the roots of the tree in this room, but you can't really see much more beyond that. It is still pretty dark. There is darkness there. You also detect a very faint kind of pale blue glow, but you can't see the source of this.
Okay, so 2 ideas. You all tell me what you think. So one, I could just teleport us past this, and we just see what happens. Or the other idea is we call Grumsh here, and maybe Grumsh just does the Grumsh thing and does something about the door. You know, as a favor for a friend sort of thing.
I I'm not sure if Grumsh is gonna be down to do something like that.
Favor for you, maybe. He likes you.
Does he?
Oh, he definitely does.
Yeah.
He's into you.
Your MO lines up with his, just without the orc part.
It's fair.
He likes the bloody part of the bloody vengeance.
I mean, who doesn't?
Laffian just holds up a hand.
The worst.
I mean, it's just a difference of opinion. Vengeance by law versus vengeance by sword. Semantics.
An idea. And I'm going to do it, because I haven't gotten to do this yet.
Oh, God.
Okay.
It's called Throne of the Magus. It's one of the abilities I got once I became, whatever the subclass was named.
Blue Mage.
Yes.
No. Stealthy.
So, at 9th level, I have the ability to cast Dispel Magic as if it was a 3rd level spell. However, the advantage of this is that I get an advantage if I have to roll an ability check to dismantle it.
Oh, shit.
You do.
Yeah.
You 100% do.
That's dope.
What's the range on Dispel Magic?
Dispel Magic has the range of 120 feet.
Okay, then you don't need to move within its diameter of annoyance.
All right.
The range
the
of fuckery.
DC equals 10.
Yeah. It's there's a huge amount of light, and if you get within a certain amount of feet of it, you kind of get screwed.
All right. Well, I'm going to roll a d20, and then I'm going to roll another d20, and we'll add a 3 to that number.
Oh.
I am not especially good at this.
No.
And the first one's a 5.
So that's 8. That fails completely.
And the other one's a 15, so that's a 18.
Which is 1 less than what you need.
It's a 9th level spell, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Prismatic Wall is a 9th level spell.
Jesus. Squash looks dejected. After having a real good idea, it just falls apart in his hands. This is a dumb idea, and V, you're definitely allowed to tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
But Crossbow of the Time Thief has the ability to put me back 6 seconds or something like that.
Yes.
Can I go back before I cast or use my ability and use it again? It would be using my use of the rewind crossbow effect, but...
That's clever.
All right. Let's check what I think you need to roll to make this happen.
I need to roll a 16.
No, not the dismantling part. Your character sheet. You are definitely, because the ability that you have to rewind time and do the magic thing again, like you've kind of, your personal energy, you still have existed that moment. So it is still your energy that has been used to do this dispel magic thing.
Okay.
So argue a roll to allow me to let you regain that energy to let you do it again.
I would like to argue.
And if you say shenanigans, I'm gonna scream.
Give me a couple of seconds here. All right. I'm going to give you a good argument, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to argue that Squash has lived through some of the worst that the world can throw at him from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And in his time, he has learned how to take what is given to him and keep, like, he used to give up, but he used to know how to absorb it at least. He knew how to feel a punch and not let it hurt too much. He knew how to take a hit. Let's phrase it like that. And I believe that would accumulate in his survival skill. So I would like to argue
accept
that Squash can try to do a survival skill to try to take the hit of the second use of it. And if he fails it, that he would get a level of exhaustion, but the thing would still go through.
I won't agree. I'll agree that you can use the Thorn of the Magus thing again, but not that it would automatically succeed. All right, I'm going to set the DC at 25 because it's not an easy thing to do, and it's the first time you've attempted doing this after the first time you've attempted doing Thorn of the Magus. So I think that is fair.
Yeah. And click. That's a 23.
You just reset time. I'm going to say next time you try this, it will be easier.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay.
All right. You guys see a little stutter step as Squash just does something weird, and then he's just like, has his hands out again. He's just like, come on. Ah. No. Okay. Well, I'm at least out of ideas.
I mean, I can just teleport us through then. It was a good effort.
Shit, yes, that was a possibility.
It was. I was going to let you do your thing.
I may have gotten a little bit wrapped up in the idea of making this work.
No, listen, that would have been very cool if you could have dismantled my ancestors' work. I was rooting for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that for real.
Listen, I am all about everyone doing cool things.
Get through your bloody wall already, will you?
Okay, we're going through then, fine. Voice in the sky, tree.
Hang on.
I spend the 6 side points and we teleport.
All right, since technically you're not supposed to be able to do this, I would like you to take a dexterity saving throw, please.
All of us or just him?
Just him. And I'm doing this because technically you're not supposed to see through a prismatic wall at all.
Okay.
So flavor text, I'd allowed you to see through it.
Oh. 20, Zaltanna, what's your thing? +4?
Yeah, +4.
So 25 dex save.
That's what you needed. You get through. It hurts. It hurts a lot. You get to the other side and all of you feel like you're on fire. You feel like you've suddenly been dipped in ice. You feel like your brain is just crawling. You suddenly feel like this very horrible necrotic energy. You feel like you've suddenly been poisoned, but you find yourself and you distantly feel like your molecules have been pulled apart and then shoved back together as you find yourself on the other side of this wall.
Oh, that was uncomfortable. Okay. I'm glad I put the anchor point if we need to leave. Okay, great. Fantastic.
All right, let me describe this room properly for you now then.
Yes, please.
Now that you can actually see everything. Now that you're in this room properly, you can see it's much bigger than that tiny part that you glimpsed. You can see the roots of the tree making their way through the dirt and up, and they're getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And as you look up, you stop being able to see it as the dirt above you. You can see that there are lots of these old wooden coffins that have mostly disintegrated, and you can see the bones with them also mostly disintegrated. You can see that there are very fine silks, or at least they were in their day. You can see pieces of metal that were buried alongside them, like metal swords, jewellery, teeth, the such like. But at the very centre, wrapped around by the kind of biggest of the roots, you can see that there is a very well-preserved wooden coffin. This is clearly magically protected, and Squash, you would be able to see that, yeah, this is some sort of protection magic on this that's deterring the aging of this. You can see that the very top of it appears to be ornate. Something has been carved into this wood. And the closer you get to it, you can see that it is carved a likeness of an elf. From this coffin, there is that faint blue glow that you couldn't see before. Have at ye.
Okay. Do not touch anything. I'm laying that out first because this is my ancient ancestor's grave. No grave robbing.
Had crossed my mind.
He's staring at Rhal. Because Rhal has a penchant for touching things.
Rhal is still unconscious.
Good.
But I'm glad you have brought him through the gate.
Right, Rhal? Oh, right, yes.
Don't touch
That was a problem that solved
anything.
itself.
Bleh.
Is anyone going to revive Rhal?
No, you know what? It's fine.
I
Leave him
will.
like that right now. No. Leave him.
Okay.
Why?
Because he's going to touch something.
I'm sure he can be persuaded not to.
It just feels like kind of like dickish to just leave him like that.
He's like lying there on his back, tail around him, like tongue hanging out.
Is
Not a
this
very
wine?
graceful
Is this
position.
wine still in his hand?
Look at him.
If it fell out of his hand, I would not have brought it with us.
It's somehow rolled up inside your hoodie.
Okay.
Um,
He was
I'm
clutching
just
onto it
imagining,
tight.
like, Squash says, like, I'm sure he can be persuaded not to take anything, and that's when the bottle rolls out of his hand. It's just like,
comic timing. Yeah, Zaltanna, would you like to revive Rhal?
Yes, of course I would.
Okay.
What?
Good. There's one not at in this team. Do you want to use lay on hands? You can use a cure wounds, healing word. I don't remember what other healing stuff you have.
I'll lay on hands for like he didn't like lose health,
No,
right? He just
just the smallest
yeah, he did.
amount.
Yeah, just a small amount. Yeah.
I will heal you for 5.
Okay.
Okay.
As you wake up, you just feel that innate rage in your chest that you sometimes get when you're so freaking angry, and then it peters out as you kind of like open your eyes and you see Zaltanna like hands upon you, just like you find yourself also in a different room, Rhal. Thank you, Zaltanna.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Well, I believe we're in the right place. I don't want to mess with anything in particular, so I assume now would be the best time to get our teleport to Cicero.
yes. Let me just get this thing out, and Squash is going to. I do believe, since we're on the same plane of existence, Squash does not need the blue gem.
It's in your hairband anyway. It doesn't matter. It's always on you.
Right. Then, yeah, Squash just kind of grabs the back of his ponytail and is going to use sending to let Demi know that they are ready.
What are you sending? What message?
We have
25 words or less.
we have found the resting place, and now we need help crossing the border.
I like how you did crossing as 2. By the way, I don't know I could see your fingers, but you did do that.
You have 6
Crossing.
words left, maybe? I don't
I have 11 words left.
know. Okay.
Please come help now. Period.
No.
Dot.
No, you know what the left part has to
No,
be.
the last words are not going to be that. For
love
2
you.
reasons. 1, Demi could get it, and number 2, Grooves could get it.
I
This is an
think,
open party line.
I don't see how either of those things is a problem.
yeah.
Well, of course not. You're buddy-buddy with both of them.
Sure am.
Look, the most you can make Grimsh like you right now, the best, to be honest. He needs
I don't
to be.
want Grooves to like me.
I love how that is your reasoning for not adding those last 3 words. Demi could get it too. Grumsh could get it.
Listen,
I love it.
one
I
of
love
you
it
has
so
to be
much.
the third wheel, all right?
It would actually be funnier the other way around. I fucked it up.
Yes, it would.
Reason 1,
Neil, if you could cut and reverse.
the recipient can get it. Reason 2, the recipient could get it. What if they got the message?
All right. What you get back is, and it's also pretty quick. Where is that? I can't teleport to you unless I see or know where that is.
This is a god. How you not see us?
I assumed you would teleport to me. That was my assumption.
Okay, all right.
I could describe it, and you could go off the vague description of underneath the tree.
I will go with that. She hasn't seen it. She doesn't know it, so I have to make her roll it.
She knows me.
How did she get on the boat, V?
What?
The Dragonborn boat.
How did she get on the Dragonborn boat? Yeah, that was Squash. But that was still having to roll a teleport.
She's gonna end up on the other side of the fucking door.
Hey! Yeah, but then she could just dismantle the door. Shit.
Hey guys, you want to turn this thing off?
There's an off switch right here next to it. What?
She has an associated object, clearly.
Yeah.
All right. Then she doesn't need to roll.
An associate object. Squash.
Squash is not an object, but he has the hairband that she made, and also she has the eye patch. So there are reasons. Okay. Yeah, she just almost very instantly, you just feel this like gush of air as it gets displaced as Grimsh Demi stands there. You can see that Grimsh, that the form has red eyes, a red eye. Hi.
Hello.
Hey. See, I knew I shouldn't add it. This is the place.
She kind of looks around, and she sees the kind of the coffin, and she sees like the roots, and she sees the prismatic wall behind you, and looks at the four of you like, how wall, how what, how what? Wall.
Laffian just does like a finger wiggle.
Squash.
What did you do?
Teleported.
Right. Yeah. To be fair, I don't see any like anti-teleportation or anything. Right? I don't see any anti.
It didn't feel
not
pleasant.
The world's best trap. Well, yeah, passing through that in the stalking is still unpleasant. There's still a degree of it there, but I guess you managed to do the thing. So, ready to go? Got what you need?
I think so.
Cool. And she puts her hand out. Bone, gimme.
What?
I need the thing. Like the thing from Isilta?
You want me to actually open that?
Well, the coffin isn't him.
Oh, okay. It's kind of, it looks like it probably is warded. That's why I didn't want to touch it.
Uh-huh. What makes you think I want to touch it?
You're more qualified to touch it.
But it's your ancestor. Well, it might be. That might not be your ancestor, actually.
I didn't look at the family tree. That's kind of a really big family tree.
Well, yeah, like, if you're going back to when this was, which I think this was like roughly like 5, 6, 7,000, whatever, million, like thousands of years ago. So I guess it's difficult to keep a track of that after a while.
Elves live too damn long sometimes, I think. Well, no, it's fine, but, you know. This is gonna hurt, probably.
She takes a step back.
Can I fly my what's it called? My cool shield around in front of him to help protect him just in case?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can pull that thing out and it floats where you kind of deem it to float. I'm going to say that's the thing. That's fine with that. Yeah, absolutely you can. It will protect him from some damage. Let's be like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, you have a fancy shield protecting you, which I believe, let me see how much damage that.
I think it's 2 AC, right?
Yeah, it's plus 2 AC.
Yeah, I'll just give you an extra amount of damage off of whatever comes out if there is damage.
Okay. He's going to switch to his nomadic, not nomadic, the mastery of fire focus. So
right.
He has resistance to fire just in case.
Uh-huh.
Laffian just like very carefully inches closer and just puts a hand on the coffin and is like, hit! Just see if something happens.
Seem to be fine. Now that you're closer to it, You can tell that the person carved into it is definitely like a very old elf. They have like really long flowing hair and like a really chiseled jaw. And there's something in the face that reminds you of Talvin.
Oh.
But you touch the coffin and there is no perceivable damage.
So you're
All
not
right.
defacing your ancestor's grave, you're defacing Talvern's ancestor's grave.
Or
Listen, we're
Talvin
we're
never
close friends.
died.
You could also tell that they're wearing like very, very simple robes. They're not like the robes that you're used to wearing. This is something that, you know, like a farmer or something very, very plain would be wearing. They also have a crown that is just simply a band. There's nothing ornate, nothing pretty about it. It is functional and plain.
Okay. Kind of more talking to himself and somewhat at the coffin. He's just, all right, honorable ancestor, I need to get in here, so I'm just gonna... And he just slowly opens it.
I got a bone to pick with you.
If you want to make a fireball explode on him, that's fine.
Of course. Of course, anything. As you as you slowly lift the lid of this coffin, it just slides away. That faint blue glow is now gone. Whatever was preserving this magic is beginning to fade now. And within it, you see a kind of preserved body. They are wearing the same simple robes that you saw before. They're wearing that very plain bland. But unlike the graceful sleeping carving above, their mouth is unnaturally wide. As if no, it's just unnaturally wide, as if the lower jaw has been unhinged to make it even wider. Yeah, that's what you see.
Okay, Demi, I don't know how you expect me to get a bone out of this, but I don't really fancy defiling that.
She kind of skips over and looks into the coffin with you.
Please be gentle.
She's, well, I'm not going to do anything to it. I still have reverence for the dead. I kind of need to take something of it, though. And there is some magic on this. Whew.
Such as, if you tell me that this thing is about to animate, I'm not going to be happy.
No, if there's animation, I would probably just nick something and we just teleport the shit out of here right now. No, I don't think that's the problem. There's no weird lich zombie magic going on here. No.
That would have very bad implications.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dad. By the way, guess what? Great ancestor king. Yeah. By the way, totally necromancer. It's fine.
Totally doesn't look like you, says Demi.
No, I don't think we're probably not related, but you know.
Well, it happens. I know monarchies change a lot and yeah, whatever. Okay.
People fight. There's wars between houses.
Yeah. Well, maybe a tooth?
I'm not touching
She has that kind of clenched jaw thing, she's not sure.
Go ahead. Can you do fingernail clippings? Are those preserved? That? Maybe a hair? Tooth? Just tooth?
Let's try a hair.
You guys are being so fucking precious about this. Who cares? The world is going to end if we don't get this guy. What? Zaltanna's gonna march up, open this guy's mouth, and yank out a tooth.
Okay.
All right, I need Zaltanna, Laffian, and Demi to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, what a fucking surprise.
Whatever.
Get a +4 for Zaltanna.
Let me just remind you guys that both the guys that have evasion are not in the blast radius.
Yeah, you can roll dice, mother.
Fucking nat 20.
You don't
Jesus
deserve it.
Christ.
You don't deserve it, Casey.
Give that to Art.
Yes, you do. And you hit the DC because of your +4.
Oh, never mind. All right, if that's the case, then via... Actually, no, because there is a fucking 1 in a million chance.
Yep.
Never mind. I got a 2. So.
Okay. All right. Can I have someone roll a d20 for Demi, please?
Sure.
Go ahead, Aethar. You got this.
Boop. Demi rolled an 18.
18 plus 4, so that's 22. I assume you count Demi as an ally, Zaltanna?
Yeah. Of course I do.
Okay, good. All right, that makes it 22. What is her dex? She takes the damage. All right. Okay, let me... That is a lot of damage.
Oh,
All
don't
right,
say
that's-
that.
It's an okay amount of damage. Oh shit.
Jesus.
We're all gonna die.
No, you're all gonna die.
I'm
Such an
not.
asshole.
It's all the ones with all the healing too, is what I've also noticed.
No, I'm not gonna die. I'll be fine.
I rolled spectacularly well.
Right.
They were almost all 5s or 6s on a d6 and a singular 3.
Oh fuck.
Okay, for everybody who failed, you
Hi.
take 49 cold damage.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
hey, and Zaltanna, you take 29 halved is gonna be 24 cold damage.
Fine. I can take that.
Let me just. I have to click into Demi's character.
That was
sheet
half
now,
my health.
fuck. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it 20 something?
No, I took the full 50.
No, I said for me, what is it, 25?
24.
24.
They don't care about what you took.
I don't give a shit. No, I'm kidding. I care.
You're
I
in like
promise.
triple digits now. Like this shit just rolls off you.
I'm a tank. That's what I'm here for.
Like
Yep.
water off a duck's
I love it.
ass.
I love it so much.
Could have gave a warning. We could have backed up. Nope. Nope. Just
I love it.
explosion.
I love it.
Okay,
I
well,
love
to
it.
be fair,
I
it
love
didn't
it. I
occur
fucking
to
love it.
Zaltanna that the fucking corpse would be booby trapped.
Yes.
There is magic on it. There was a way of doing it, but I love this outcome so much better. All right. Let's actually take her hit points down. She won't die from it, but it's pretty rough. Oh, okay.
There is a shell of ice on Laffian.
Demi doesn't look much better and looks very unhappy with it until it just melts. She reaches over and she kind of puts an arm around you, Laffian, so that the ice layer upon you begins to just like melt off. You feel that she's intensely making her form much, much, much hotter.
Thanks for that.
Wow, that was kind of cold.
Love
Zaltanna
it.
looks fine. Just
That was cold on several levels, Zaltanna. Several.
you get like ice in your
Zaltanna,
underwear or
I love
something.
you. You have such chaos energy about you. I love it so much. Okay, we have a tooth. Cool, let's do the thing.
Do you?
Cicero, right?
Shit. Laffian, you're not looking too good. Do you need Zaltanna's gonna like pat you on the back and do a solid like 20 lay on hands to you.
Thanks. That helps. There's less ice shards protruding from my body.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm looking less
All right,
blue.
let me-
You okay there, buddy?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Can't handle a little bit of cold?
Not when it's in my face like that.
That was a lot of cold. I have to say, that was a lot of cold damage.
Everybody okay?
Okay,
Yes.
it's a relative term.
I agree with that sentiment. And like she points at Laffian. Okay.
Let's go, shall we? The trial awaits.
You're gonna be fine. You've got this.
Don't fucking die.
She puts the kind of tooth fragment in her hand and she closes her hand around it. She takes a very deep breath and you see her begin to cast a spell. It takes a little while for the spell to kick off. And you see many different layers, many different runes that she is casting kind of just above her hand, just above where the tooth is. And in a flash of a very bright kind of purplish light, you find yourself somewhere completely different. You find yourself standing You find yourself standing in a corridor. This is a corridor that has become familiar to all of you. It looks like the corridor in the temple below Faustum. You can see that there is a wooden door that is closed at one end. You can see another wooden door that would lead to the mirror room, and that is closed at the other end. You can see 3 doors on your left, and you can see 2 doors on your right. Everything is closed. There is no sound. There is no movement, and it's well lit. This feels different. It's not Faustum. You know you are somewhere completely different now. What would you like to do?
Everyone's here?
The 4 of you and Tio are there.
I know you're probably going to tell me no,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to try to copy that spell.
I think plane shift is a level 8 or a level 9.
8.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Like, my instinct is that it's an 8th level spell.
I know I don't have the spell slot for it, but I want to put it in my brain.
I would like you to roll an Arcana check.
Fine. You still haven't
Just because this is so much higher than you are accustomed to.
Fine. That's a 12.
You think you might have memorized the runes that she cast above her hands. So far as Squash knows, he didn't exactly catch her hand movement. She's still pretty fast at that shit, and she has to slow down a little for you to understand. But you can see that Squash would be able to memorize the 3 different runes that she kind of had above her hand when she was casting that spell. You have a portion of it. It's just the verbal and the kind of like hand gestures that you're not 100% sure on. But maybe if you saw it again, maybe you'd have those down.
All right. I'm writing that down.
Is that an okay compromise?
Absolutely. I didn't think you would say yes at all.
I rarely say no, and it's usually just stupid shit that Neil wants. Okay. You have some of that spell.
Yes.
What would the 4 of you like to do in this somewhat familiar corridor?
This is weird. I don't know where we should start.
Rhal's gonna go to the door, I guess immediately left of us, and open it up.
As you open that door, ahead of you, what you see before you is a mausoleum constructed of marble, gold filigree, beautiful patterns all over it. Some acorns, some leaves, stars, the moons. In front of this mausoleum, you can see that there are 5 marble pillars that are roughly 6 feet tall. Straight ahead of you, between these pillars, is a door. Around this mausoleum, there is grass. It's warm on the other side of the door. Like there's a lot of sun streaming in. You can see lots of tiny little flowers in the grass, and there is just rolling meadows as far as the eye can see. Further than what you know the dimensions of this room are. Further even than past the doors to further on to your right. Even, much further off to the left. This is not possible in the space that you know that this should be.
If no one's interested in doing anything, Rhal's gonna venture around because he's very curious. He seems very explorative right now. Because this is like the nice place, quote unquote, you go when you die, right? So, like, he's got an interest in there.
Yes, with caveats.
Well, yeah, but for Rhal's very basic understanding of how any of this works, of, the places that he's aware of.
Yeah, you can step into this place and you feel the grass feels very real under your feet. As you look around, you can only see behind you, instead of a long wall, you just see that singular door standing in the middle of this field.
Yeah.
This is what would have been the meditation room, isn't it?
Correct.
Rhal's eventually going to make his way over to the door, but I think he's stopping to feel things and kind of test reality and all of that as he makes his way along.
Yeah, as you're walking along, the grass feels very real underneath you. The plants that and the very small flowers that you pass have a fragrance to them, and you can smell that. You can feel a very gentle breeze even under the beating sun, which there is no sun. You can just feel it upon you in heat. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to episode 175. I am a huge fan of the hide everything in the wine cellar. I don't know. There's something about it. It just speaks to my fantasy soul. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. If you kind of want to learn more about the world and the kind of meta around the world as well, if you go to our website, theluckydie.com, there are so many things on there in the bonus content about the world itself, the timeline, the NPCs, the map is up on there, the timeline, which is current up to end of season 1. I didn't want to put spoilers in for season 2. Yeah, so there's a bunch of things up there. There's also a couple of more meta-based things, you can, if you want to, download the custom classes that we have, because I think everybody is now non-standard, not out of the book. So all of that is up there. And there are also a couple of one-shots that you can download there based on the Mirror World that they went into, and also, quite famously, the April Fool's episode. So go check the website out, theluckydie.com. It looks beautiful with a bunch of Kessie's art. It's amazing. So yeah, go for that. I want to say a huge thank you to some of our new patrons: Victor Veray, Rob Camp, Renini Trop, and Izzy Wild. I'm so sorry if I butchered any of your names. I just want to say a huge thank you. We all do. We really appreciate it. You're about to hear an ad for another baller podcast. Please go give them a listen. Bye.
Rest in peace.
Descansa en paz.
Repose en paix.
Riposere in pace.
Nespotual pokoyu.
You've died. But don't worry, we here at Quest Friends are here to help you with your afterlife onboarding process.
As you know, the worlds of the living and the dead aren't that far apart.
And you might think, I don't need to learn anything new.
But you'd be wrong.
Dead wrong.
Every other Monday, we release fun, episodic adventures in a world where the realm of the dead is only a plane ride away, inspired by cartoons like Amphibia, The Owl House, and Gravity Falls.
So whether you've recently departed or are just visiting, welcome!
Bienvenido.
Bienvenue. Benvenuti.
Witai.
To Quest Friends.